What is going on, guys and gals? Today is day 731 of my self-improvement journey. It has been 2 years officially of self-improvement, making daily videos, and I cannot be more grateful for it. So I'm going to talk about some major accomplishments that I've achieved in the past 2 years. I'm gonna just run through 10 or so, or 8, something like that. I just wrote down a little bit so I can like remember it a little bit easier, and then after I run down, I'll go through it a little bit more in depth. So things I've done in the past 2 years is I've written 3 books, I ran a marathon, I learned 5 songs on the piano, I did 50,000 push-ups in 42 days, and during that, I did 10,000 push-ups in one day. I have written 20,000 words in one day. I wrote 150,000 words in 1 month. I did 2,000 pull-ups in one day, and I am a green belt in karate. So I'll start backwards. How about that? So green belt in karate. So I started karate actually like a month in to my self-improvement journey. I think it was like day 35 or something like that. And I did not think I was actually gonna stick with it that long because I wanted to do boxing actually originally, but I just kind of did karate. So I have enjoyed it quite a bit, to be honest, and yeah, it's not like, the biggest thing in my life, but I feel like if I weren't doing it, I'd feel a little like it just feels right, to do it. So I enjoy doing karate. I feel like a lot of people, they want to do like boxing or something, which I mean, it's not a problem, but I don't know, I think karate should be a little more popular, It's like people think it's like weird, but I don't think it's that weird in my opinion. You can actually see my gi is hanging right there. Pants are, and then the shirt is like right behind it, or shirt. I don't know if it's called a shirt, but it's like a gi is what it's actually called. I don't know how to spell it though. So yeah, I got my yellow belt on, I forgot which day it was. What day? I think it was March 10th of 2023, and then I did not even get an orange belt. I went straight to green belt. I got that on March 13th, 2024, and I remember that because that's also the day I uploaded my 1 year of self-improvement, even though that was like how many months later than the actual 1 year date. So next, I'm just gonna go off the list. So I have this list right here. Just gonna go back up. 2,000 pull-ups in one day. I did this 2 days ago. For this specific reason, for 2 years of self-improvement journey, or 2 years of self-improvement. I did this 2 days ago, and the only reason why I didn't do it today is because I had school. It's a Monday, so I did it on Saturday, and I didn't want to do it yesterday because I knew it was probably going to take like all day, and it did, and I didn't want to have to go to school the next day, so I did it on Saturday, and I actually did it. And I'm going to say it's the hardest thing I've ever done, ever, period, in my life, so far, not, forever, it won't be, for sure, but it was really hard. The last 100 pull-ups were agonizing pain. Like, I took an hour break, I went to McDonald's with my friend from, like, once I got to 1,900 pull-ups at the Y, and I actually have a video from 2 days ago, or from yesterday, that I uploaded about this. You can watch that video. It's only like 30 views. Please. But yeah, I took an hour break, and when I came back home, I was just dead, bro. I was dead, and it took me over an hour to do 100 pull-ups, which is not very common because I've done 100 pull-ups in under 10 minutes before, multiple times, like I think 4 or 5 times now. But the strength in my arms is actually coming back, and it actually feels amazing. My hands, I'm not going to show them on camera. You can go to my video. They're pretty gross still. Taking a break from doing 100 pull-ups a day right now, just because my hands and my arms are also just shot, and want to recover so that when I go back to doing 100 pull-ups a day, I'm stronger, and maybe I can get under 9 minutes for 100. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. I cried for like 5 minutes after that, and like once I finished that 2,000th pull-up, I literally cried for like 5 minutes. I was just so happy. And the pain, it was just insane. The next thing on this list is 150,000 words in 1 month. I'm actually going to pair this with the next one up, which is 20,000 words in 1 day, because I did those 20,000 words in 1 day during NaNoWriMo 2024 this year, actually. So NaNoWriMo, if you don't know, is National Novel Writing Month. That's what it stands for. And basically the challenge is to write a whole book in 1 month, or just 50,000 words. 50,000 words is like the actual challenge, and 50,000 words is kind of short for an actual book, to be honest. It's like about half the length of most books, I would say. Most books are usually from like 75 or like 70,000 to like 120,000. But I feel like most books are right around that 100,000 mark. At least personally, I would assume or think that a lot of books are right around that 100,000 mark. You know, some books are way more, some books are way less. I don't have an example for a way less, but this is like 400,000 words right here. But yeah, so I wrote 150,000 words in 1 month, 3 times the goal of what most people have for NaNoWriMo. I woke up, my original goal was to wake up at 3 a.m. every morning and just write, basically, for like 3 hours in the morning, and then write during school, and then write when I get home. But I did not actually end up waking up that early every morning. Usually I just woke up at like 6, and then I just stayed up late. Usually it was just staying up late, because I feel like that's what I naturally tend to do. I don't know. I feel like I sacrifice sleep that way more than just waking up. But sometimes, I figured out that like in NaNoWriMo, that it was a lot better if I just sacrificed the words for that night and just went to bed early, like at 8 o'clock. I went to bed at 8 o'clock, and then if I wake up at 3 the next morning, I'm like refreshed, a little energized from sleep, so I can write for 3 hours, and it's just more efficient because I'm not as tired, And I was able to write more, and I did. I wrote for like 25 minutes, and then I took a 5-minute break. Wrote for 25 minutes, took a 5-minute break, and that's what I did on November 17th, about halfway through the challenge. I wrote 20,395 to be specific words in 1 day. I woke up at 2 a.m. and I started writing basically at 2 a.m. after I went to the bathroom or whatever. And then I finished at around 10:30 p.m. I was writing all day. I went on a walk that day. I did some other stuff, but that kind of helped, to be honest. It, just refreshed my mind. It took a long time, but it was worth it. That carried me from 150,000 words. I started at 70,000 on November 1st, and then I ended at 220 on November 28th, so it was in 28 days. I finished on Thanksgiving, but yeah, so 20,000 words, I was just writing 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and just repeated that basically for, I don't even know how many hours, 20 hours. Holy crap. Yeah, like is that actually right? Yeah, like 20 hours in one day. That's how long I was writing for. So about 1,000 words per hour on average, which that's pretty reasonable for my pace. I feel like I'm usually write about 1,000 words per hour on average. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Anyways, the next goal, I'm gonna pair these next two together. I did 50,000 push-ups in 42 days and 10,000 push-ups in one day. So 50,000 push-ups in 42 days. This was a challenge that I wanted to accomplish in 50 days, and I ended up doing it in 42. I could have done it in 40. Like, I literally had 50 push-ups left on that 40th day, but I wanted to wait until all my cousins and then two other people that aren't technically my cousins, but they're kind of like my cousins. We were all in a line. We did the last 5 push-ups together. So I waited 2 days for that. But 50,000 push-ups in 42 days was very hard. It was hard. I would say it was hard in the fact that it was a lot harder mentally than physically, like the 2,000 pull-ups. But it was still hard physically. You know, it was still hard on my body, but it wasn't like, you know, I wasn't dying, you know, after. I was obviously glad that I was done afterwards, but I was just kind of like, it was more mentally, you know, and I had a job, I was working, and I was doing other things. I was writing my 3rd book along with these 50,000 push-ups. During the 40 days, I actually finished my 3rd book on that 40th day, August 15th. Started the challenge on July 7th, finished it on August 17th. And those 10,000 push-ups in one day, I basically got home from work on a early Friday morning, because I worked from, I think it was like 4 to midnight, basically. This night was probably like 1 a.m. though. So it was Thursday night, but kind of Friday morning. So I got home at like 1:15, or started right around 1:15 or something like that, doing push-ups outside on the pavement. My hands did not like me after that, my palms mainly, but you know, just did push-ups like all day. I think I only got like an hour of sleep or something like that. Went to bed, like I slept from like 10 to 11 or something like that, just on the floor in my room, in my old room. And yeah, that was really hard. And by the end of it, my shoulders were shot, and I was kind of doing push-ups like this, like I wasn't doing it like equally distributed on my hands. Okay, now you can kind of see them, but the calluses. But basically, I was going like this because my shoulder was just killing me, and it was just so hard to put all that weight on this one. So I put more weight on this one, because you know that you're gonna have more. So I was doing them like this, and to be honest, my form was not very good to begin with. Like I was doing like the, you know, like this stuff, not fully locking out. But during 2025, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this video, I'll do better form for the push-ups that I'll be doing in 2025. The next thing I did was I learned 5 songs on the piano. So the first song was actually, I performed that on day 4. All of Me. Here's my piano actually, right there. So I performed that on day 4. And the next song after that was See You Again. I played that for my brother who's going into the Marines for boot camp. I played that on day 126. And then the next one after that was Another Love by Tom Odell. I don't know what day I performed that one on. If I had to guess, it would be around somewhere around day 230, something like that, I think. Somewhere around there. Day 230-ish, give or take. maybe 15 days. The next song I learned was Eyes Closed. I don't even know. I think it might have been day 401 or early 400s. And the only way you can find that is if you go into my the playlist sections of my YouTube channel, and then you go to the early 400s. So that's like right at the beginning of this year, actually. But yeah, I learned that. And then the last one was Perfect by Ed Sheeran, another Ed Sheeran song, actually. Eyes Closed was Ed Sheeran. And then Perfect I performed on November 3rd of 2024 this year. I don't know what day that is, but like of my self-improvement journey, but yeah. So if I had to say what out of all 5 of those songs, what my favorite one is, or learning kind of and listening to, I don't even know. I would probably say Perfect, I feel like, because that one really, I don't know, there was just something about it that I really liked. I really enjoyed it. And singing it, I mean, I don't like actually sing while I play it on the piano, but like just singing it, like when I go outside and take my dog outside and sing it by myself, you know, like I'm not recording that. I like that song a lot. So yeah, but I'm actually learning another song right now, Hallelujah. It's a lot harder of like a version than the normal version. That'll be coming out sometime during December, so make sure you stay tuned for that. The next one, I ran a marathon. I did this on June 6th, 2023, day 179 of my self-improvement journey, way back when, like 1.5 years ago or something like that. Actually, yeah, exactly 1.5 years ago, or something like that. So, I did this out of literally nowhere. My plan that day, so I was gonna bike 14 miles and then run 7 miles. So it was maybe, I don't even know, it might have been like 8 o'clock in the morning, went on my bike ride. So I did 14 miles on my bike. I got home and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna go run 7 miles. It's a Tuesday, it's a pretty, chill day. 2 days ago, actually, on that Sunday, June 4th, I ran my first ever 10-mile run, double-digit run with my friend. And 2 days later, I ran a marathon. So it was there was clouds. It was a pretty good day. I did not have any water with me. I was only gonna run 7 miles. I mean, that's still quite a bit, to be honest, but it's not too bad. The weather was pretty good. No, like, blazing sun. And basically, I just run around in a big circle, and that's 1 mile. And I was at, like, mile 5 or 6 or something like that. And I'm like, man, I'm feeling pretty good today. I wonder, what if I went to 10 miles? What if I even did a half marathon? And then just in the way back of my mind, I'm like, imagine if I did, like, a marathon or something. That'd be kind of funny. And I'm just running around these circles, and I get to 10 miles eventually. That's my air freshener. Don't worry about that. Eventually get to 10 miles, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a half marathon. I get to 13, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to get to 15 miles, might as well. And I'm still running. I've not stopped yet at this point. Like, I'm still, jogging, basically. It's a lot slower back then than I am now. Or at least I was, like, a month ago. In cross country. I'm not in cross country right now because it's done. But I get to mile 16, and I'm pretty committed at this point. I'm like, you know what? I gotta run a marathon now. So that's mile 16. And there's like these down my street. There's like these construction workers, and they're probably thinking like, what the heck is this kid doing? Like, they've seen me like 15, 16 times now. And like I'm coming every 10 minutes or so, and they're probably thinking like they're digging this hole for something. I don't know what they were digging it for, but and I'm just every 10 minutes like or so they just see me. I can only imagine what they were thinking that day, but I think around mile 16 I asked them, hey, do you guys have any water? And I'm still running, so I like it's kind of quick, you know, because I still wanted to keep running. I didn't want to stop. That's one of my main goals when I run. For some reason I just don't want to stop. I'd rather slow down than walk. Like when I say stop, I mean walk, or physically, yes, just stop. But so I just keep going. They don't really say anything, I don't think, or they just said no or something. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Then I ask, there's this house like just a little bit past those construction workers, and I ask, hey, do you guys have water? Because I'm pretty thirsty now. You know, it's been 17 miles, still haven't had water. It was 16 or 17, right around there. And they're like, oh no, or it was a lady, and she's like, oh yeah, we can get you water. I'm like, okay, I'll be back. Just you know, I'll be right back. And so that next time I went through that house, right past those construction workers, I got another water. And actually, during that 17th mile, like closer to the end or around the half, like 16 and a half or 17 and a half, I asked another lady if she's got water. I'm like, hey, do you have any water? And I'm still running past, and she's like, oh yeah, or something. I don't even remember, but then when I go past those construction workers, I get a water, still running. Like I run around the car, I grab the water, and I just keep going. I drink that, like chug it basically. And hear me out, it's a Tuesday. Okay, Tuesdays are garbage days here. And every other week is a recycling day. So I was so lucky that it was a recycling week, because this is probably illegal here, but I just threw my water bottle away in some random person's recycling bin. It's probably illegal. Okay. Hear me out though. It helped. It really did, because I didn't want to hold this. I didn't want to just hold this water bottle like while I was running. Obviously, it was crumpled, but I didn't want to hold it. And I think I had my keys in my pocket because I was, it's the summer. And then eventually, I go back around. It's mile 18, and right around like basically 18 and a half, I finally stop, because that other lady, she's like, oh yeah, here's the water, and I have to, or no, I think I throw the crumpled up water bottle in her recycling bin, and I have to stop. And I was kind of annoyed, because I'm like, 18 miles, are you kidding me? I have to stop now. But I took her water, and then I just kept running. So I got back on the running grind. I ran. Then when I passed those construction workers, they gave me water too. Shouldn't have asked so many people. Holy crap. I mean, it's honestly, all the water was really needed, to be honest. So I ended up running 21 miles. All 21 of those miles were like actually ran. And then I remembered, oh crap, I have chores to do still. I haven't done them. So I went home, and I kept my timer going. So when I leave, I press my timer button, and then I go on my run, and then when I get back, I press the stop button. So I kept my timer going. I don't remember what it was at when I was at 21 miles, but I did my chores probably 30 or 40 minutes. I was pretty dang sore, to be honest. I was like picking up leaves. But I was pretty sore from all the running. So what I did was I just walked the last 5 miles, and I was just dying. I would say this is probably like physically the second hardest thing I've done, other than behind the 2,000 pull-ups. Physically, like my legs were just dying, and holy crap, the sun around those 21 miles, the sun came out. It was so bad. Those last 5 miles, I just walked all 5 of them. And then the 0.2, I did actually run the 0.2, or like really slow jogged. I just went down and then back up to my street, and ended up getting 6:42. Not very good, to be honest, but I mean, what do you expect? I was 15, completely unplanned. So yeah, but it worked out. And one of my most notable things is I wrote 3 books. I started writing when I was 14. On day 15 of my self-improvement journey, I started writing my first book. It was really, like, the reason why I actually started writing was because I watched Andrew Tate. I watched his Hustlers University, like, one of his first couple videos, or his lessons. And it's like a free one on YouTube. And it was one of the lessons, and it's like, use what you got. You know, write a list of things you got to make money. And I was like, I could write a book. And I remember way back in May 2020, I had this idea, this brilliant idea, with my cousin, actually. And me and her came up with this book idea that this guy, he knocks on his neighbor's door. He's been doing it for the past 5 years, every morning, and still he has not got an answer. And then one day, he finally does. And that's like the prologue. And then it goes back like 5 years before. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So day 14, like at 10 p.m. or whatever, when I'm going to bed, I'm thinking to myself, like, wait, that's actually such a smart idea. Tomorrow, day 15, I'm gonna, like, this Christmas Eve actually, of 2022, I'm thinking, like, okay, I'm gonna write, or day 15 was Christmas Eve, but day 14 was Christmas Eve, you know. So basically, I'm just like laying in bed. I'm thinking, like, okay, I'm gonna try and write this entire book in 1 week before New Year's. It did not work. It did not work at all. I'm just gonna say that. But I did just sit down the next day and I just started my book. I did not really think much about it. I started with that scene, and to be honest, that scene is not in my book at all, and it has nothing to do with my book anymore, or the 3 books. The 3 books are in a series. I should mention that. I should also mention this. I'm not having any beta readers until I edit my first book. I still need to edit my first book because there's a lot of things I need to change in my first book before I send it out. It's not ready to be read yet at all by anyone. I mean, it can be, but like, the reason why I don't is because, well, if they just tell me things that I already know I'm gonna change, then like, what's the point? I want to change the things I want to change before I have people tell me what to change, even though I already know I'm gonna change that. You know, it's just kind of useless to give it to people. My first book took me 59 days. It was 98,000 words, 98,461. My second book took me, I don't know how many days, wait, no, it took me 73 days, I'm pretty sure. It is 123,377 words. And then my third book took me 288 days, almost a year, almost 10 months, 9.5 months of basically pure torture. Not actually, but it was painful. Through 2 AP classes, through sickness, and also doing those 50,000 push-ups, 438,757 words. Like, 438,000, bro. That's crazy. 767 pages. Absolutely insane. But yeah, that's basically what I've done in my 2 years of self-improvement. This is a solid 30-minute video. If you want to know what my books are about, okay, this is gonna add another 10 minutes to my video. So my first book is about this kid, Liam. Him and his friend Tom are in math class, and then they go home. They go to Liam's house, and then this giant, or, well, I just kind of spoiled it, but this car pulls into Liam's driveway. No license plate. The windows are tinted. And eventually, after like 2 hours, a giant really tall guy, like 15 feet tall, finally comes out. And he demands a cocktail and sausage. And after Liam finally gets it for him, this giant demands that him and Tom leave Minnesota, because that's where they live, Minnesota, that they leave Minnesota and the US in general and go to Canada. And when both of them disobey this giant, Liam, who is trying to, he's going to the movies with this girl he just met. He's, he's trying to chase these girls and stuff before his senior year ends. It's like April, the end of April, or mid-April or something like that. And when he's in the movie theaters, this giant, since he's not fleeing to Canada, this giant comes and attacks him. This girl obviously thinks he's crazy, him and the giant, and eventually Liam finally obeys and they go to Canada, and then they have to go to Vancouver. Why Vancouver? I don't know. I was 14 when I read the book. Don't ask questions. 15, 14, same thing. But and basically they go to Vancouver and they meet other people, Jack and then a girl named Sandra. And Sandra and Liam, let's just say, kind of fall in love a little bit. And the rest is history. They basically go to Vancouver, gotta fight these giants. Some of the giants are good though. They learn more about this other planet, Valorous, and yeah. Second book is about Sandra. I don't want to spoil it, but then the third book is about Jack and then a giant named Iphamar. He's a good giant, and they have to like learn about magic. Or I'll say the second book. Sandra, she is in her Californian house and she wants to go back to Minnesota, but her parents, or she wants to go back to Minnesota because that's where Liam is. After the Battle of Vancouver, which is the Vancouver fight with the giant, the bad one. And basically, Sandra and her brother meet this girl, and they all go to Minnesota. They all travel there against Sandra's parents' will. So, yeah. But eventually, Sandra's brother goes missing, and she doesn't know why exactly, or it's because of this mysterious kid. And it's kind of interesting. And then the fourth book, I'm actually writing it right now. It's the final kind of book in this mini series of my overarching series called the 10 Planet series. There's 10 planets, hence the name. Earth is one of them, Valorous is another, and there's 10, and then there's 8 other ones. I haven't even thought about what those other ones are going to be. Maybe smelling yetis or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I'm at 220,000 words still. I've not done much after NaNoWriMo. Not even at 221,000 words yet, but I'll get there. I'll get there, I swear. Yeah, that is it. That's basically the majority, or like the significant goals I've accomplished. Significant goals, plural, I've accomplished in the past 2 years. Self-improvement. Did I think this is what I would have? No, not at all. On the first day, I did not think I'd have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 accomplishments. I really did not. And it honestly just means so much. And thank you guys so much for your support. It genuinely means a lot. Just seeing your guys' comments, and seeing that I'm like have 565 subscribers or whatever I am at right now. Last time I checked, that's what I was at. Like, I was at 200 when I first started 2 years ago. Obviously progress, it's not that crazy, but yeah. Well, I said I was going to talk about what I'm going to do during 2025. I'm gonna do 1,000,000 push-ups 2025. That's the goal. All in one day, actually. I'm just joking. But yeah, I'll talk more about that tomorrow because this video is already 35 minutes long. So yeah. But I hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I have. The memories obviously aren't as significant for you guys, but it means a lot to me. It really does. These past 2 years have been amazing, and I could not be more grateful for them. I could not be more grateful for God who put me on this path, on this journey of self-improvement, from the journey from Jeffrey to Adonis. Wait, no, to Jeffrey, or from Jeffrey to Adonis. It means so much. Thank you guys. This is it for day 731. It's 31 because of the leap year this year. My self-improvement journey. I hope you guys have a great day. And don't forget to follow your dreams. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.